Hey guys, welcome back to LS Vintage Design. I'm Lisa. I'm so glad you're here. How's everybody doing? Today I thought we would talk about something that comes up a whole lot when I'm out talking to clients through my Etsy shop or my website. How do you tell authentic vintage from repops? And I'm talking about things that you don't have to get appraisals for, that you can just kind of know enough to be able to tell. I find personally, now I have taken classes, but I find personally that I always first check where is it made, because if it's made in China, it's not vintage and it's repop, okay? And I'm going to give you some examples of these in a little bit. Who made it? If there is a maker's mark, if you know that maker, that can help tell you. How it's made. Now this is a big one, because a lot of ceramics, chalkware, a lot of those things were initially made with very tiny holes in the bottom. And as manufacturing improved, as they were able to do more at a time, those holes got bigger or they're hollow. And the details, okay, the style and details of things too changed. Again, for your ceramics, say, let's talk about Staffordshire dogs. Staffordshire dogs were made in the 1800s and they're still made, okay? How do you tell the ones made today? Okay guys, sorry about my battery died. Okay, we're talking Staffordshire dogs as an example of knowing how something is made. And it'll also kind of roll into style and detail, okay? So the early 1800s, 1900s Staffordshire dogs, when they were made, the manufacturing process was such that there was just a tiny hole in the bottom of the ceramic dog to hold it while the rest of the work was being done on it. As manufacturing improved, the hole got bigger. So small hole versus big hole, and that goes to how it was manufactured, okay? Also, how it was manufactured and style and details. The older ones have detailed faces, detailed bodies, where when the manufacturing processes improved, the details kind of blurred. It's not as detailed. It's a press mold, okay? The mold is made with a dog's face. You pour it in. So the details aren't as fine as they were in those original. Style and detail. Again, intricate, hand-painted versus machine done, processed. Materials. Okay, all these things will help you tell the age of something. Now, I'm going to give you the most obvious. Flip it over, and like I said, where is it made? I've got an example for you. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, this is a perfect example of always flip it over to see where it's made. It's got a cool mid-century mod look, right? It's not glass. It's melamine. Melamine was a 50s, 60s thing, you know? There was a lot of melamine. There's still a lot of melamine. Simple flipping it over and seeing made in China would have saved me some money. Now, was it expensive? No. In fact, that's why I bought it in the first place. I thought, oh my God, these people are idiots. They have this magnificent mid-century modern chip and dip or tasting bowls or whatever you want to call this thing. And they're only selling it for $10. They're nuts. They don't know what they have. I'm going to buy this up. And boy, am I getting a deal. And whoa, am I smart. And don't ever think you're so smart that you don't need to check things out. Perfect example. Okay, next we're going to talk about chalkware. Chalkware is no longer made, but it's so cool. What is chalkware? It is figurines made from, and I pulled this up, plaster of Paris made with gypsum. That's what chalkware is. That's the material. And from before World War II, a lot of it was made in Europe. Most of the chalkware was around in the late 19th, early 20th centuries. And it is so cool. It's figurines, it's animals, it's people, it's clowns, it's banks, it's holiday. It can be anything, okay? And how do you know if it's kind of to age it? Well, one, if you find a chalkware bank and it says break here to get your money, that is pre-World War II. If you find a Santa sleeping, Santa's made sleeping was mostly done in Europe. US does Santa's awake, Europe did Santa's sleeping. So if you find a chalkware figurine where Santa is sleeping, it's pre-World War II and it was probably made in Europe, which is really cool. Chalkware figures in the US took off in the 30s and 40s. They replaced stuffed animals at carnivals. So, and when you would go and win a prize, instead of getting a big stuffed teddy bear, you would get a chalkware figure. And it lasted for about 2 decades. They're really cool. A lot of them were knockoffs. There would be the Smiling Doll, which was a knockoff of Shirley Temple. The Strong Man, which was a knockoff of Popeye. There was knockoffs of Superman. There was knockoffs. Anybody you can think of that was licensed, there was knockoff. And it was made a chalkware prize and given away at a carnival. Pretty funny. Some of them are very cool. Some of them are creepy because they're clowns. I don't like clowns. But anyway, chalkware figures are really cool. Some people think they're really cheesy. They're not into them that much. I will show you an example of one. I actually found one for my husband, and it's a sailor because he used to be in the Navy. They're really, you can date them again by what they are, how they feel, you know. If they have a lot of paint, that's good. If chalkware figures are only valuable if the paint is still relatively good and there's no damage. If there's damage, they're really not worth anything. So guys, there is a lot of ways to tell vintage from Repop, but honestly, I say before you buy anything, especially if it has a vintage or antique price on it, go home and do your homework. Because, like I said, and don't ever think you're being smarter than somebody else. Very rarely. Trust me. So, guys, I hope you like this little talk. If you want more in-depth talk and go way more into way more details, just leave a comment down below details, and I'll be happy to go more in-depth with this. This was just a light glazing of the subject. I'll see you next time. Thanks for being here on Ellis Vintage Design. Bye-bye.